Good morning, guys. I hope you guys are having a great day. I want to show after hours yesterday on Netflix. Down 25%. We'll go over Netflix in a little bit, but first we'll just go over SPX quick levels. Yesterday, a nice little recovery, and a huge move, right? A huge move up from non-stop from 43.70 all the way towards 44.50, pretty much, right? This was a big move. If you caught the calls and you were in, you probably made 300-400% depending on your strike. I personally took a shot at puts right here, at the resistance level, and I think it was a fair shot. I mean, not every time I will be right, obviously, right? I took a shot at puts here, nice little resistance, because if we were to get continued, they would have paid well. I ended up holding on to them, unfortunately, but it was a small size, so I was able to hold through. I do have until April 22 on them, so let's see what happens. Small size, that's fine. I mean, market rips, some trades you lose. As simple as that, right? Cannot nail all the trades. So that's my thinking behind those puts. Took a small size. I did not average down once it was through and I never average down because most of the time that you will average down, and people that ask me that you should be averaged down, unless you have a lot of time and it's reasonable to do so, which is usually 10% of the times. Other 90% of the times that you're going to average down, most likely you're going to give that money back to the market also, just in hopes that your stock will come back up. So that's why I never average down. Best is to choose a different strike closer to the money and with more time, obviously, right? And so SPX today, same thing. This level is still the most important, 44.50. So 44.50 level is still the most important in my opinion, right? Which also happens to be the volatility trigger. 44.50 is this zone right here. So I'll just go over this quickly so you guys can see it. And so this zone right here, holding above this zone is very, very important if if bulls want more upside, and if bears want downside, then they need 44.50 taken to the downside, right? So right now we're holding above 44.50. The next resistance I currently see is near 4,500. So 4,500 I would keep an eye on tight, right? 4,500 must have an eye on those, or keep your eyes on it, right? 4,500 eyes on it. Two things: either it's going to present a good short opportunity, or if they take it to 4,500 and we consolidate there, we are near the 200 MA on SPX, all right? And then if we take above it, then obviously 4,600 and 4,700 is possible. And Kara, one of our members, drew something which I think is pretty neat and looks like it's playing out. She did end up buying calls here near the bottom, right? And then she does call them in the group, by the way, if you guys read. And if we do happen to go above 4,500 and into this zone right here of April 1st, right, into this zone, there's a good chance to pick up some good short opportunities here. I think they're worth a shot, and then we can probably retest these levels one more time. That's just my thinking behind it. However, if we hold, then we see what happens. Just given this geopolitical issues at a global scale, I don't think we will reach all-time highs so fast. I think there's a lot more choppiness in this zone for now in the coming weeks and months. That's just personally how I see it. So above 45.20, I will add on to some shorts or maybe bear spreads. Maybe I'll sell some premium near the top on SPX, right? Maybe I will sell some premium of these levels, because here there will be resistance. Even 2-3 days of sideways, I can eat that premium. So Bucky, maybe I will do bear spreads. So let's see. Now on to Netflix. Down 25% on earnings. I just want to say one thing. If anybody asked about Netflix about 2-3 months ago, right, and not me or somebody, if someone saw this move coming and they told them, you know what, man, don't buy Netflix yet at 650. This is gonna go sub 300. I don't think many people would believe that person, right? Not that he would know, but it will be very hard to believe that this would happen in Netflix. Most of the people will buy leaps. Most of the people will buy leaps on or add on to their shares continuously, right? That's the psychology behind most traders. Nobody will believe that Netflix can actually go down this much, right? But expect the unexpected. Look where Netflix came. This trading at 250 from 700, right? From 700. So if you bought this at 700, you're now at 250, right? Their earnings were, they beat their earnings per share. Their revenues a slight miss of $600 million, so 7.87 billion versus 7.93. The most important comment that matters is a guidance, and if you're a company that has subscribers, right, your growth. If your subscriber base starts decreasing, that's the biggest red flag for a company. All right, Netflix already at 250 gave up almost 60-70% in gains on their first. I think this quarter they're expecting loss of 2 million in the second quarter, right? Which is they still have, I think, hundreds of millions of subscribers, but even the small number is having a big impact on the stock price movement. All right, so it's safe to say if 250, I mean, maybe we ripped today, I have no idea. This is a strong support zone, and many people are going to buy Netflix here, which is fine. I agree with them a little bit. I would love to scale in. If I wanted to buy 10 shares of Netflix, I would probably buy 2 shares here, or maybe 3, and then maybe wait in case if it does go towards 125, 130. All right, and now some of you guys are probably laughing about 120, 130. Netflix not gonna go there. Expecting, I mean, look what happened here, right? So maybe that will happen. Who knows, right? But this is a strong support level, 250. If you want to grab some equity, personally, yes, I would buy in a very small position here, and then we see in the coming months what happens. All right. ASML had earnings also, right? One of the great samurai stocks, and this stock, I'll just go over the daily or the weekly. I think it's up 35 points, I believe, right? And I think it's safe to say that we might get a 50 MA test on the weekly, just by looking at it. So their growth is unchanged. All right, so ASML, their comments, their growth is unchanged with what they have, but they did say that the second half of the year they will update, right? So if you're somebody that trades semis, if you're somebody that's involved with this company playing positions, right, puts, calls, if you play this name, you want to keep an eye in August, September that they will give some updates, or maybe in the next earnings on their growth. So far, supply chain issues may have a little impact, right? They did mention that in one of the reports, so let's keep an eye on that. But otherwise, their revenues, they beat, their earnings per shares, they beat, and it's having a positive impact on the market. So far at 650, but I do see 680, this zone, as a very hard resistance level. I would not ignore this zone right here. All right, so ASML likely retest this zone, and if we hold above it, then obviously if semis run, this can probably test the 50 MA and so on. All right, and then we have LRCX today after hours, I believe. ASML, obviously a great start. LRCX also had a very strong support level from December 2020. We actually poked below it. We ripped up. Let's see if we hold and we can get back over to 44, 45, 545. And I think it's safe to say that we might actually will go towards these levels, right? I think. And then we see from here on a base if we go up or down. And then they do have earnings today after hours. So who knows what the move will be. All right, but personally, I do see one chart forming up. I think they're going to tag the 200 MAs on these names, on many of these names on the weekly. They might tag the 200 MA in the coming weeks. I think it's going to be a possibility. That's just how I see it, and then we see what happens after. And then obviously, the biggest earnings of the week, I believe, after Netflix, is Tesla. Tesla has earnings today, 420, a very popular date. You guys all know why. But I will say one thing, I love Elon Musk, but the stock has ran up a lot, right? I mean, it's up huge. Can it continue higher? Of course it can, right? Stocks like Monster beverages, Amazon, these stocks are up thousands and thousands of percents in the last 20 years, right? So Tesla can definitely have a long way, right? Because it just started not too long ago, but 2010, 12, around those years, I believe, or whenever. But Tesla, a very strong stock, always on the weekly. If we look at it, it rips, consolidates, comes down, rips, comes up, and then rips all of a sudden. But here we are at a very tough resistance level, 1040, 1070 zone from a recent breakout of year 2021. Let's see what the earnings will be. I have no idea what Tesla will do, because this is one stock that I would be scared to take a position, calls or puts, right? This can be up 100 tomorrow, this can be down 100 tomorrow. And in the past, what I've experienced on Tesla, that they sometimes on earnings just hold sideways, and then the day of earnings, so tomorrow, we can have a directional move on Tesla. That's when it usually runs. But tomorrow, Tesla loves sideways movement on earnings. All right, you guys can go in the past performance and see it yourself. They usually love break-even opens, right? So be careful if you're playing Tesla earnings. You might not get the move. They might dip, rip, after hour, do whatever they want to do, and then just open near break even. This is the possibility that I believe on Tesla right now, that might happen, right? And then we have Investors Day for Lululemon. All right. Keep an eye on this name. It broke with a 200 MA. We're just facing resistance, so they do have an Investors Day today, so they might give us some wild swing. So if you see some flow coming in on Lulu, and you see it, I think I would personally play to the upside or even spreads, because on Investors Day, most stocks do run. So keep an eye on this name, but currently it is at a resistance level, or a very strong resistance level, in fact. And then we can probably see a move towards 415, 420-ish, right? It's possible if the Investor Day goes good and the market holds and rips, and then this name can definitely go up. All right, Walmart. Nice little bull flag. What a strong pattern. And I think, yesterday Yash was asking, not asking, sharing his opinion on Walmart. He's nailed Walmart like crazy. Right? I love Walmart myself for long-term stock. Right? Why? Because it's needs. Right? People have to go to Walmart. Right? More than once, I think is needs. Your grocery shopping, basic needs, fairly priced. Right? So Walmart, as long as we hold above this zone, remember, this is the zone we need to hold above. If we end up holding this zone and we consolidate, and on one of the retests on these trend lines, even if Walmart rips here, let's say it goes up, I'm not worried because I'm pretty sure we'll get a retest of this zone. Then I think it will be a great pickup to the upside, and this can definitely see 160, 200, like we spoke about 154. But 154 will be the most important level of the last 2-3 years. All right, so Walmart, as long as we stay above this flag, it's a very nice looking pattern. We can see upside. If we take the lows of yesterday's candle, then the chart is going to get messed up. Then we might even revisit these lows, right? So keep an eye on yesterday's lows, which will be really, really important. All right, because they finally closed in your all-time highs yesterday, I believe. And Google on the daily, nice little reversal, a big red candle this day, right? Scared a lot of people. I was iffy. I thought that was actually going to flush. That's how it looked to me, but I did not take any position. I waited. It made this morning star candles or similar, and then obviously we ripped yesterday. Now the only thing is, can we hold above this zone, right? Can we hold above this zone, right? If we hold above this zone, we can go up. The only thing I see on many names right now is that we are at critical support. Do we break or hold? That's my question, right? And I don't know what's going to happen. If we hold, we can go up. If we break, we can go downside. So for me, to be honest, any name I play, for example, even Amazon, if I go Amazon actually in between, let's go with AMD, right? I think AMD is a good name because I was also in this position a couple of weeks ago. Here, if we hold support levels, I think the rewards will be in your favor to the upside, right? But if we don't hold these levels right here, then obviously downside is also possible. So for me, it's like a 50-50 here right now, right? But obviously more chances I would give to the upside given a very strong critical support level is down a lot. And with LRCX, with ASML earnings, a positive impact on chips, and then we have LRCX after hours as well, right? So just be careful. Personally, the only tip I can give you, I'll give you guys this tip every day. I will repeat myself, is your position sizing will matter the most. Back in, a few months back when the market was good, it was in one trend. Let's say if you bought 10 contracts, that's fine as per your count. But in today's market, I think your size, that's just my own opinion, you don't have to believe me, it should be 1/3 or so. I'm keeping my sizes very small, right? I even go with 5 contracts sometimes 10, sometimes 15. It depends on the price of the contract, of course. I'm not trying to make big plays here. My goal in this market, if the market does play out like the way I think is going to play out, which is, right, if I do think that we end up going to these zones, there will be a lot of opportunity in the coming months. I've been in this boat a couple of times in my life now, right? Been trading for 10 years, and sometimes it happens when we don't think it's going to happen. This zone right here, basically March 2021, if we end up having this zone on SPX when a lot of stock equities will be down, there will be tons of plays to the upside, right? Even 10, 15, 20% moves you catch on equities, on options, there's a lot of money to be made. So I want to make sure that I have enough cash in my account for me to do that. And if I start taking full size bets in these levels, like, when I don't know what's going to happen here, why am I going to go full size, trying to gamble or whatever you want to call it, right? So I just want to have some cash saved up if we do dip, so that I can catch some great moves, right? And so yeah, and with this, thank you guys. We'll see you guys back in the chat, and manage well. It's your account, your money. You're gonna pay your phone bill.